Yeah, just a brief mention on that fourth set. It's going to be Clown and Grim Pentry. We can talk a little bit more about that after this trial. But without further ado, here we go. We've got Jason, the man himself, on the Cenobite, and we're getting into the action. Spawn in this corner of the map again. This is a very highly scrummed map, so I'm sure in Jason's head right now he's mapping out where the survivors are and trying to position himself to find that box early on.
I heard it. I swear I heard the box right there. I'm pretty sure it's right behind that 100% totem spawn. Okay, never mind. I'm not very smart. It's actually behind main building, so thought I heard the electric crackle of the lament configuration there, but I was wrong. So Jason here in his first chase already got a hit onto Zydru, but he would like to go for Jiggy instead. Maybe the solving of the box there is going to distract him a little bit. He realizes that he had the wrong choice there and actually comes out on the wrong spot, but Daimao paths directly into him there and gives a free hit. Definitely a little bit of confusion there on where the SINobite was. Nice chain landing there from behind main building. And oh, Zach, he's opening the backside door of main. I don't think that's a good idea.
Called the Jiggy door. So, I mean, against Vikzz, it's going to be a worse nightmare. I was actually going to compliment that sort of box positioning because he spawned downstairs. So you were very, very safe. So, I mean, a bit unfortunate at the time. I'll pass into him, securing that injury. And it looks like he actually might be going down soon. Lands that chain onto him. We're going to be chasing around this building here. We have the drop pallet for safety. I would imagine Jason wants to break that, which he does. And all of our survivors are on generators right now. So, dime out. Looks like he got mind gamed and now it's going to have to die corner. Just putting as much distance between him. Oh, never mind. Oh, actually makes more distance than he should have on the double back. Quite impressive there in a bit of a dead zone. But that's going to be the first down of the game.
Yeah, nice line of sight break there from Daimao. Showing us a little bit of his nurse looping skills there. He's able to make at least 5 more seconds of distance. And that's going to be the first gen popping here. Daimao hooked on the edge of the map here, and we've got a couple of other gens with progress. Doc doing that main building gen, and it seems like the Jason here, he's not even interested in interrupting that main building gen, and you know why? It's because Doc isn't injured. He can't actually interrupt him with the chains too much. Going for that chain hit with the original pain on the gen is what the SINobite players want to do here to force people to mend and waste a lot of time. So it's going to be a chain landing onto Jiggy on the back side of the main building, but Jason here realizing that he needs to go back to hook. That's probably most of the progress that the survivors had all over the map, and that chain is going to miss. That is huge for the survivors. Don't want to get forced into that deep wound there. Daimao continuing to live at this TL wall, goes for the vault, not going to win that 50-50, and he's probably going down here. Unfortunate that all he could get there off that hook was the TL, Zach. He's going to need to go to a stronger area here on his last hook.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the mistake there was a bit of timing on the unhook, but also just the position. It's going to be Daimao taking a second hook stage pretty early on into the game. And what you mentioned about the deep wound is actually really important because we have 3v1s. Well, the 3v1 is really where the game sort of gets interesting, especially if the SINobite sets. But when he has that sort of when he has that deep wound applied on the chain, it makes the efficiency so much slower. Actually, getting a hit through the pallet there onto Doc, very, very nice. And that's one of the things that is so frustrating about Pinhead is not just about the ping hits, but the deep wound. You're just constantly having to mend all the time, and it is such a painful thing to have to experience. Oh, he actually doesn't get the unhook, he cancels it, and that's going to be Zydru going down. Daimao still in a sticky situation, has this front main pallet to use, but that was a botched unhook.
And he's chained up here. He's going to be into the deep wound, goes for the slow vault. This is going to be a very fast tunnel out onto Daimao. Really unfortunate here for Vikzz, but Jason is going to be in a good spot here. Going into the 3v1, Zydru is still on the ground. Somebody needs to pick him up, but Jason here going for the snowball. Very nice dodge there out of Doc onto that possessed chain. He's immediately going to just throw the shack pellet. Good choice, I agree. As Doc now makes distance to main building. Another chain comes out, and another nice little spin from Doc there. Really good micro in the chase there, as Doc able to avoid that deep wound status effect. It is so important to dodge these possessed chains while you're injured, every single one of those that Jason hits onto you is like 10 seconds wasted with the DP.
And sad ping here though on that pallet. Didn't have enough distance anyway. I don't think he would have made it regardless. But yeah, so we've got some injuries sort of coming out now, and like you say, dodging out on those chains to prevent yourself from going into men. Because as soon as that starts coming through, that's when the gens just sort of don't really go anywhere. We have this one by Shek, which I believe is the most progressed on the map. It was one that they were trying to get done to try and get down to 1 gen remaining. Or fast unhook coming through now, and that's all survivors injured now. Jiggy saving Zydru. Zydru is going to be chained down in front of this main building. Doesn't have enough distance to make it anywhere, and that is such a fast down. Look at how oppressive this killer can be. Hooked in an open area, and you don't really... I feel like you just don't make enough distance there. You should probably try to make it to somewhere safer. Maybe Shaq might be a more favorable position, but that front main pallet, I have to question that maybe that's probably the worst place. Definitely more dangerous location.
The thing that's missing here, Zach, is when we see these teams, when we see teams here that get a extremely good survivor result against the SINobite, despite that original pain mending status effect that can allow them to tunnel off hook, the thing that's missing here is a teammate that runs behind you and breaks the chains for you. That is the teamwork piece that we see from a lot of our top teams against the SINobite. And here, it's not coming out because the tunnel out was too fast. They simply don't have the resources to commit somebody to just break the chains. And oh no, Doc, he's trying to solve the box, and he's just not far enough away from the SINobite. So he is going to get canceled there with the possessed chain. Nice shot from Jason, and this is just going to go from bad to worse here for Vikzz. It's going to be the box claimed by Jason, a chain hunt beginning here, and Jiggy, he has to go for this unhook. Chain is going to land, but it was too early off the hook, so no deep wound status effect. They changed that recently, so that it's a little bit harder to get that original pain tunnel. It's going to be a nice chain there onto Jiggy, hitting him back behind that pallet. It's pretty good range on that one as well, and Jiggy is just going to have to go corner. So it's going to be another down for Jason. He's trying to slug it out here. Only one standing survivor. It's going to be Zydru with the box. And it seems like he's trying to pick up Doc here before the hook comes in onto Jiggy.
Yeah, absolutely. Playing to the corner there is good because it now will allow the pickup. But that can maybe their chance to try and reset. But right now, they're in a situation where that's probably not going to be possible. Zydru with the box now. So worst case scenario would be for him to be found. And Jason almost catches him with the M2 there. We do have main building, but we're not opting to go for it. We're going to go for this toilet pallet in the corner. And again, the accuracy on these chains so far from Jason has been really impressive, Prion, for me. He's not really missed too many, and they've really prevented any sort of decent chase from the survivors.
I think the only ones that he's been consistently missing have been onto Doc, Doc has seemed to have his number here with the spins and chase. But everybody else has been consistently chained up from serious range here, which let's not understate how hard that is to do on the SINobite. This killer, he has a similar level of targeting as Nurse, except you have to manually target it after you set the portal there with that right mouse button. It's going to be Doc interrupted on the box once again, and I mean you can't do the box out in the open like this. A experienced SINobite like Jason always going to go over for that box and hit a long-range chain onto the person solving it. So yeah, Doc going to get found here, and it's going to be another down onto him. Now Jiggy, the only survivor standing. He's essentially gotten 2 consecutive tunnel outs here. Ruin is still in the trial, which is quite bad for the survivors of Vikzz. Jason going to be securing a 4K2 any second now here, as soon as Jiggy goes down. Jason going for a crazy mind game. Jiggy having absolutely none of it. He's going to head on over to the shack. Good pathing here out of Jiggy, even though this last chase doesn't mean much.
This chase would have been nice earlier in the trial maybe, but it's going to be too little, too late. Now we're just playing for pride, but it's going to be a 4K2 secured for Jason eventually with that down. Mori now available. Given that the last 2 survivors are alive. And that was another change that they made, as far as I know. But we're going to opt to pick instead. But yeah, I think super well played trial. The survivors didn't really get anything done after that that first elimination, and that's pretty much like how SINobite sets to go as far as like the struggles for me. But yeah, well played by VKZ. That's going to be difficult. That's a 4K3 win condition, and I just, against the survivors of Sinners, there's no greater challenge, I suppose.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is kind of what we expected to come out of VKZ on the SINobite. Extremely strong killer player, of course. When you allow him to get that first pick that he wants, it's definitely a tough time for the survivors. So, we're going to be flipping the sides here, going over to Vikzz on the SINobite. It's going to be a very tough win condition for them. 4K3 to win, 4K2 to tie. Welcome back, everybody, to the Dead Dog Saloon here, where we've got Vikzz on the SINobite, and it's none other than Jiggy here on the SINobite, trying to meet that 4K3 win condition for his team. It is quite a difficult one here, as we see Jiggy looking for the box here. Will he be able to find it, though? So he's got multiple sets of scratch marks here over by the main building. Now, seeing those scratch marks, he's choosing to go over towards this sort of village area looking for the box, but he's instead going to find Zoob here on the ace. So seems like Jiggy maybe committing for a hit instead of exactly finding the box. The solve coming in onto the box out of VKZ, and Jiggy is not turning his camera, so I can't see where the box spawned. Very unfortunate here, but Chase going to continue on to Zoob here at the main building. Gonna hold W away from main and over towards the shack pallet here. Clean play out of Zoob. You want to use that shack pallet as soon as possible to be able to make up some distance there with a mind game. And Zoob now forced over towards that water tower.
Yeah, these chains aren't really connecting. It's giving Zoob so much distance. Of course, you are immobile when you're trying to use that chain, and when you already have some distance in between you, it can really punish you in your chase. Another one missing there, twice in a row for Jiggy. He needs one of these chains to connect if he wants to take a chance of downing Zoob. That one does land, and it looks like that might be Hook. Yeah, getting mind gamed on that small tile there. I'm not playing for the pallet side, but yeah. 137, so that's roughly around the same time we had our first down last game. Only difference being that VKZ found the box, and so the survivors are in a bit of a better position because they were able to solve that during that chase, and very nice first chase coming out from Zoob as well.
Yeah, so we see the counterforce on VKZ there, trying to take care of that crowd control and ruin that's been brought by Jiggy. The crowd control has left the trial, but the ruin remains. We saw that ruin was extremely brutal onto VKZ's survivors last game, so they'll need to get it out of the trial as soon as possible. The hit onto SMS here in this gallows area with all the filler pallets. Another chain going to land. It's going to be SMS dropping that wagon pallet, but the slow vault there, not going to get him enough distance whatsoever. Good chains out there from Jiggy, and he's going to continue to collect some fresh hooks here, but his ruin is gone. It's not going to be good for him when it comes to meeting this win condition, as he can only let one more gen go if he wants to actually take the win for Vikzz.
Yeah, I suppose the benefit of knowing those tokens have been cleansed is that survivors haven't really been doing too many gens. Again, they committed VKZ to it, but in Jiggy's mind, that's one survivor not doing anything, and one in chase. So maybe not as much progression as maybe you would have in the normal circumstance. So a bit of a silver lining there, but Zoob taking second chase. This is the elimination target. We have stage onto Zoob, stage onto SMS. But we are at main building. This is probably the best place in the map to chase, and it looks like Jiggy does not want to commit to it. So go over to this water tower side. We do spot someone there running off, but we've got two survivors in this area trying to work on gens, but Jiggy spotted them. So going over to the area, there's quite a lot of downtime in between chases, I've noticed, so it's going to eat into the time for Jiggy in this trial. Another chase coming into SMS. We are healthy. We're going to over to water tower area now. Chain missing. All the survivors are dodging these. It's very well played by Sinners. And Jiggy doesn't really seem to be getting any momentum. That chain will land, and it looks like this will be an M1.
A good hit out there from Jiggy. And SMS, he's going to try to make it towards this main building now, but is this front main pallet really that good, Zach? This is what we saw really kind of killing Vikzz last trial.
Yeah, I mean, you got those two main pallets there connecting a little bit, but yeah, like against
altruism.
Yeah, kind of like you said, the breaking of the chains, the hit tanking. Of course, they want to prevent the second stage. So you can see again, Sinner's shining really in their survivor play against this killer, and they've got a lot of practice on it. So Jason will go down, but Jiggy is being denied an elimination. Prion.
Yep, and in the background, that is the tie condition met for Sinners. 2 generators to go, and Jason there, just like we said last time, where are the survivors to break the chains for their teammates? And in comes Jason, the strong knight on the white horse here, protecting SMS and breaking those chains for him, because there's no slowdown and no cooldown when a teammate runs through those possessed chains while they're binding a survivor. So going to be Jason pulled off the hook here, and SMS, he's actually not going to be able to get the down there onto Jason. He hits him too early there. Jason didn't actually manually break the chains, so very smart play out of Jason there. SMS now bound at this water tower pallet, going to go down. Just can't get the fast vault there when the chains are on you, and it's going to be another pickup here onto SMS. A second stage for Jiggy, but I fear it is too little too late.
Not really as much pressure as you might want, especially if you want to deny another gen being done. We've got Bucky there eating a pain res, but that's going to be 3 of 4 stacks needed. Jiggy is slowing them down somewhat, but he's going to need a bit of a break on this next chase. SMS going to be ticking down for an elimination. Bucky's working that last gen, and we have Zubin Jason somewhere maybe resetting. But yeah, Jiggy getting a bit of information on where this progression is. Of course, if he wants to secure a tie, Unhook comes through onto SMS in distance, and we have found Bucky, who's going to be our last Scourge hook stack. And after this last unique hook, if it comes through too, that is going to be a perkless SINobite after that. And yeah, if you needed anything else to sort of drag you down, it's got to be that, right? Jason 50% on their gen whilst this chest is going through. We've got the toilet pallet, and he reverses him. Jiggy doesn't swing in time, and we are in this corner of this map. This is a very infamous area of the map for being such a long way from everywhere, and he mistimes his swing as well. We're going to be continuing chase around this edge map tower, wasting as much time as possible, and that's the down coming through. Does he have enough time? Is there a Scourge hook next to this corner?
And it looks like the box is being solved right up there in the main building by Zub, which means that there's going to be somebody ready to save here as soon as Bucky gets hooked. And just barely at the last second, Pain Res is going to hit Jason's generator, keeping Jiggy in this game for just a little bit longer. But Jiggy, as an experienced killer, he knows, oh no, the Pain Res did not hit that gen with a lot of progress that's right next to me. I think I'm about to lose the game, is essentially what's probably going through Jiggy's head right now. He's just checked the wrong generator as well. So seconds are ticking down here until Sinners meets the win condition. Fast unhook comes in onto Bucky, and that is going to be the win condition met for Sinners. They're going to go up 1-0 in this series, taking the SINobite set in a dominating fashion here, but it is their pick. This is sort of what we expected, and we'll have to see how that changes when we go into Vikz's pick, which is going to be the Dark Lord next. But still, Jiggy here wants to get the best result he can as he sees these survivors pre-running away from the Gallows gen.
Yeah, you want a good result to at least feel good about the game itself. Morale is also a consideration when it comes to teams executing their strategies, and especially on their own picks. If they're losing really hard in the first set and they have to go into the second set with basically the same lobby loaded, can have a bit of an effect. So the beatdown that Sinners give Jiggy right now is going to be of consideration going into that next set. But I mean, the second set's Dark Lord, that's also kind of Jason territory too. I mean, that's not a pick that they are uncomfortable with, so that's also going to be quite hard for Vikzz to top them. on as well. I mean, as far as what I've seen of Jason's Dark Lord play, he is a player on that pick.
Yeah, for sure. So Jiggy here, he's got everyone injured, but this Gallows gen is just inching closer and closer to completion. Survivors are pre-running from it very, very nicely, as Zoob gonna dodge a chain again. They have barely any pallets remaining here back behind the Gallows. The Zoob making it back around the front side of this pallet. He's gonna hold W to the next one, and it looks like Sinners is tripling a gen, Zach. That is going to be the final gen completed, and just more icing on the cake for Sinners, as we've already confirmed that they're going to be up 1-0 in this series. But Zoob put up on his second hook here. Sinners trying to get as many escapes as they can here. Not that those have any effect on a tiebreaker or something like that, but it's just not a nice stat to have.
Yeah, absolutely. Jiggy just kind of waiting around that chain that he sent over to the gate. Didn't have enough distance. Doesn't a second time either. But yeah, just a bit of downtime now before the escape comes through. Looks like all the survivors are there waiting, and they're gonna leave Zoo behind fireworks to celebrate the first set win of the game. Sinners looking very, very strong so far in this match, and they're on track to win Prion.
Yeah, for sure. And Sinners here, going up 1-0 in this series, it means that if they are able to win the Dark Lord set as well, then they will force a tie or loss scenario for Vikzz. So very important here as we go into this next Dark Lord set, that Vikzz is able to put up a good result, keep themselves in this game. And yeah, so Dark Lord set going to be coming right up here. And Zach, I wonder, let's talk a little bit about the Wretched Shop.
Given his three forms, and I said this before at the start in the campfire chat, that there are certain situations where each form is sort of more sort of beneficial. I mean, he's got that add-on with the blocking windows, and I'm pretty sure I heard that as he passed through. We didn't get an eye on the window itself, but pretty sure I heard the window block as he teleported to that.
And oh yeah, that is the window blocking add-on, the Lapis Lazuli. You are right.
Yes, and I was going to say first chase coming on. The use of that in chase is actually something that can be really powerful, especially in like strong tiles. So I'm looking forward to seeing like the mechanics in chase as well from these survivors. We do have this really like weak pallet, and he actually whiffs. Is going to give.
There was a lithe there out of Bucky.
That was lithe, yeah, and he just misses out, I think, because of that speed boost. But we'll go down, and it's in that top side of the map which we were talking about, where there's not really too many resources to work through. Of course, this is such an early down for Dracula here, so gonna be feeling good about that. But again,
yeah, and let's talk a little bit about why that down came in. Bucky, he should have been in a good spot there. He had one of those very strong filler pallets, but he was just caught out by the wolf form. FaZe, he immediately channeled that dash, and Bucky just didn't have the distance. And then he got caught on a weak pallet on the side of main and went down. So it's going to be a for the people coming in from Jason. I like this play from Sinners. I actually like this a lot. With a really fast down like that, you know that FaZe is going to be committing for the tunnel out. So now to force Bucky back into the healthy state is going to be really good here, as you need this chase to last a long time. Hellfire coming out now. FaZe going to miss there, and Bucky going to continue to survive on this filler pallet. Cannot overstate how important this chase is for Bucky. He needs to live here. He's going to take an M1 there from the wolf and back towards this tile. It's not a very strong one, though. Dodges out on that pounce again and will make the window with the resilience. He has to make it to something else here, though, and he just doesn't have it. So it's going to be the second down onto Bucky. They should be able to get 2 gens for this, though. But Zach, the tunnel out is looming here. Sinners going to need to work hard to keep Bucky alive here, whether that's healing Jason up for another for the people, or maybe some sort of altruistic play coming in.
Yeah, I was just thinking that, like, this position on the map, he's going to need some form of hit tank to make it into those stronger areas. But this is Dracula. Like, you go for the hit tank, he just switches the bat form, right, chases you down. He's got such a strong ability to to really make distance. And that's one of the things, like, he TPs past you, maybe to a window. You can't use that tile. You have to your knowledge of the map's going to really have to come in to play. But also, like, I don't see Bucky really surviving without any help from his teammates.
Yeah.
So,
And Jason healed there. I wonder if that is the play they're going for. I hope it is for their sake.
catching Jason on that pallet is going to stun the Dracula. Not really going to amount to much, but the unhook comes through. Bit of unfortunate timing now because you're not going to be making too much distance. This looks like it's the healthy survivor. And look, the TP coming in, blocking the window. And it is going to be on to Bucky. Hit tag coming through from Zoob. Well played. A bit of altruism, but again, we're still not in the safest of areas. He needs to make this window vault. And crouching.
Nice, and before the people comes in. Nice play there from Jason. The last second coming in to get the for the people off. Gonna take an M1 there, but that does trigger the Lithe and get Bucky to Shack. You can drop the Shack pallet here as the Dark Lord going to be forced to break that pallet, giving Bucky even more distance here. Survivors still working generators here. Bucky, how long do you last here? This is your most important chase of the day, as dropping that Jungle Gym pallet, making it back around here. He's got resilience. Dash coming out. Oh, but he tries to flare it and force the wolf to break the pallet, but it's just not going to work. Just a little bit of a misjudgment there on the dash from Bucky. It's going to end his chase and his life.
Yep, elimination coming through, and we are going to have to take an injury, I was going to say, but when he misses the Hellfire, it's going to be a little bit delayed, but is forced to greet that gen in the killer's face in response to that first elimination. But we do have the fun bus here to use. Isn't the best bus, and he actually blocks the vault from the wolf form. That's really well played. Absolutely cooking on this Dark Lord, and SMS for real is going to go down in not much time at all.
Things are looking good here for FaZe and Vikzz. He's got his tunnel out. He's got a lot of regression remaining on his perks. And now he's going to have his second fresh hook here onto SMS. Jason is still injured, so no for the people can come out. And for FaZe here, it's all about cleanup now. You can't get ran for too long. You need to keep the regression on these generators and make sure that you're ending your chases quickly here. He's able to do that. It's going to result in a very good score for Vikzz.
Absolutely. And one of the things that's kind of key in 3v1s is downtime. So making sure that all three of your survivors are on the map doing something. We see a reset coming through, but SMS is still sat on the hook. So FaZe right now collecting information. And by the way, FaZe we saw play Dark Lord quite a lot in Winter Circuit, and I know he is a very strong player on this killer. Maybe thinking it's really one of his picks in this set, but really showing his strength in the killer. Good efficient use of power, and really the survivors are struggling to kind of answer his pressure a little bit. They are working on the gen. Looks like they want to let SMS sit, given the sort of unsafe area it's in, and answering with progression. Looks like Zoob is there, but Jason's lurking for the save by these tires. But I feel like if you're gonna let SMS get second stage, you can't just unhook straight away, right?
Look at that. Look at that usage of the Champion of Light there from Zoob. No, seriously, this is an insane survivor play. He's actually hiding his footstep sounds there by using Champion of Light to move across the area where the bat form was. Extremely smart there. And that's going to be second wind triggered on SMS. He's making it all the way to the other side of the map, preventing a potential tunnel out here. And look, FaZe is so confused about where Zoob is, all because of that Champion of Light play where he just slid over to the main building with the flashlight.
It's kind of similar in, like, you said Spirit phase, it's sort of similar, but you do get movements in grass, and I guess it wasn't too visible enough for him. But yeah, we do see that used quite a lot in other sets too. The Champion of Light feedback, you're actually faster than you are walking. So whilst it does look a bit goofy on the screen, it is pretty effective, and it has saved Zoob initially. But we've got a chase now. This looks like it might be an injury coming through. We have SMS 50% on a gen, and Jason looks like he's going to be cleansing a totem for that inner strength. And yeah, 2 injuries on the board now. Now the ball's back in the survivors' court. We've got that pressure building up after the unhook. And do you have enough distance to make this? It's going to be really close. Tries to dodge out by dodging to the right, but FaZe good patience on the wolf pounce to get that down onto Zoob. And,
yeah, the wolf pounce there is a little bit different than dodging a Wesker because the Dracula, he can't hold on to the second. He can't hold on to the second dash. It's always going to come out at the exact same time. So Zoob there just not able to dodge out on it. It's going to be another pain resonance, another fresh hook here. FaZe, he really wants to hold on to this 4K2. He knows that SMS is the one working this Shack gen, and even though it's not in his 3 gen, he wants to hold on to all of these gens.
This is like this is his kit. He's got the winged boots add-on, which gives more distance on the teleport. I believe it's 20%.
It's a really good, really good uncommon add-on, that one.
Yeah, and in combination with the Lapis Lazuli add-on as well, like he's making full use of that add-on to really protect these 4 gens. It does allow for those scenarios where you're not confined to a certain area, and you have this pop chain going, where any progress that they spend on gens is just completely erased, and they're back to square one. And that's really what will help him secure this 4K2, because they're just essentially, he is making ground and reversing their progress, and it's just this constant chain of them trying to get ahead. But this is one of the sort of situations where Dark Lord, I feel like, shines in the most, if you'll agree with me, Prion.
Yeah, absolutely. In the 3v1 here, as he's going to not find VKZ there, he got a little bit confused. He had the correct teleport there, but VKZ, he's able to get the unhook there and dodge out on the Hellfire. This is good time made for Sinners here, and it's looking like they are going to be able to at least get to a 4K1, as SMS has been working that Shack gen for so long here. Now going for a bat form play, and a little bit confused again as to where the survivor is, as I'm not sure if this is Zoob. That might have been another Champion of Light play, Zach, but we didn't see it because we were in the bat form POV.
Everywhere we have this pallet still dropped from last time. Hellfire is going to be dodged out, is used a little bit too late, and it gives Zoob a chance to sidestep it. But we are in wolf pants, so there's not going to be enough distance to make this. But unless there's a dodge coming through like that, I was going to say, unless we dodge it and it just comes through, right, as I say it. And now he needs to leave this because he knows
and they're doubling.
This gen is about to be popped. And that's Sinners completing 2 gens in a very short space of time. Just one slip up from FaZe, one overextension, and they've punished him for it. Really well played by Sinners. I can't understate that enough, how difficult it was to get out of that situation. And unfortunately, FaZe is now looking a little bit shaky. He's missing these wolf pounces. VKZ is a fresh hook. It's going to be worth the most amount of stages. We have this gate coming through. There's not enough progress on it, though. Are we going to commit chase to VKZ?
Oh, but he misses the Hellfire.
How did he miss that?
I don't know how he missed that Hellfire, but SMS going to be going down in the corner. Both gates were being worked at the same time. So the precious cargo here, the fresh hook, VKZ, is going to be escaping the trial there. Really good survivor play here from Sinners. I mean, so many things contributed to that, Zach. Everything from Zoob not getting found with that Champion of Light play, to the dodges on the Hellfire and the wolf pounces there in his final chase. He was death hook, by the way. Everything there contributes to Sinners finishing those last 2 gens right under FaZe's nose and securing a much better result than we would have thought they'd get.
Yeah, like for me, the start of the game was just completely in FaZe's control. But all of a sudden, you just have this complete switch to the survivor side. And like you said, it was just this accumulation of different situations. But my God, like that's one of the reasons why Dark Lord sets are so fun to watch, because they can go so wrong on either side. I feel like any time, like it's a killer that can be punished quite a lot if you're not hitting those traps to the tile. Like if you maybe TP to Shack window and transform the survivors on the other side of the building, it actually creates a lot of distance too in some scenarios. But yeah, I'm interested to see what VKZ can do. Like I said, this is also his territory. He is a very strong Dark Lord player, so definitely not going to be unknown to those good uses of the power. We see a survivor around the Shack window. This is in the corrupt area of the map, and pretty standard build. Oh, and he predicts the vault, but he misses the pounce. Was able to punish that for a second there, but he does miss, unfortunately.
Jiggy
Blue
never
Dogs.
punished there with the Lithe on Shaq.
Yeah, especially with the timing on the wolf plants. It was very, very close though. The speed may be a bit unexpected, but Jiggy making it to safety there, and now Zydru's been found onto this pallet gym here, and tries to path away, thinking the double back's coming through. Good sidestep onto that.
You were
This
just talking about this, Zach, going for the Hellfire when you could have an M1.
Yeah, exactly. And it creates a scenario where now he like basically makes Shaq and VJ's is forced to leave. This is a pretty shaky early game.
Yeah, I don't hate this play from Jason. I think he's suspicious that a gen is being doubled. But it seems like he's not immediately able to find a survivor here. Channeling the pounce. There's no scent orbs here. Okay, he is going to find Daimao here and get the wolf form hit. So nice job there. Daimao trying to make it over towards this bus and Shaq area. Goes for the Champion of Light play, but I don't think it's going to work out there. I think that was a little bit too late on the Champion of Light. Jason seemed to already know where he was.
Yeah, that's Daimao going to go down. We do have a gen almost completed, but this should be a Scorch Hook coming through. Which it is. 20% flat, secured on that gen over there by the car in the distance. Jason now going to be leaving the hook, and someone is here to actually stealth for the pull. Just waiting for him to commit on one side of the map, and Doc, yeah. I mean, like I'm sure you're about to mention, he is stealthing there for that.
Yeah, I'm going to say Doc is there for the stealth unhook. I was going to say, though, if you're pulling that, it better be for the people, and it's not. For the people is on Jiggy. Doc has second wind and empathic connection. That is not going to be enough to heal Daimao here, so we're going to be in danger of getting a tunnel out here if Jason chooses to go for it, which I'm sure he will here. It's going to be Doc found at the shack. He's going to drop the shack pallet and try to confuse Jason here. To get him off the scent of that tunnel out survivor. Daimao seems like he's actually using the Champion of Light to get away from the killer. Where is Jason here? He's completely lost Daimao. Oh, never mind. I used at a different tile than I thought he was. Daimao going to immediately go down here. And yeah, I thought Daimao was still at the tile by Shaq. Instead, Jason did have perfect tracking onto that Champion of Light survivor. It's going to be the second down here. You got to go for the people play here, Zach. And pallet save possibly coming in, and he's going to get it there. Zydru, nice pallet save. Good timing there, and that's going to be Daimao surviving a little bit longer. Full form pounce going to come in. Hit taken by Doc. Now Daimao will survive a little bit longer, maybe making it over to that shack tile here. As the pallet, not going to use it here. And trying to dodge the Hellfire. Jason here just holding that Hellfire. He's going to put it away now and go for the M1. Still, good time bought here for Vikzz.
Yeah, good pallet save coming in from Zydru, and then the hit tank from Doc was good. It's going to deny the second stage, and they will answer this with a gen, of course. There was Scorch Hook used last time. So they definitely finished this. Jiggy getting a reset onto Doc, working this main building, and it looks like that time, the time that bought them has helped them get that second gen done, and they are going to be, they're not facing a survivor elimination at 4 gens, so that's really why that altruism play kind of came in, and have to commend Vikzz for that. Jason kind of looking around for someone who may be stealthing for the save.
They're not out of the woods yet, though, Zach, because
yeah,
this is a very similar situation to what Sinner's survivors were in last trial, and they need to prevent Daimao from dying. If they want to meet this win condition, which I believe is 8 stages for fresh, by the way, since a fresh Jason and 1 Death Hook survivor escaped last game, they need Jiggy to be this unhook, but he needs to be healthy. He has for the people. He does not make the unhook, and the wolf pounce is going to close the distance there for the people survivor. Cannot unhook now, and Jason is going to be free to camp this hook with Hellfire. That's going to be Daimao dying at 2 gens remaining. So good progress from Vikzz. This isn't ideal, but at least they were able to complete another generator. But now, Jiggy, how long can he last? Oh no, he has Lithe Brain. No.
Oh god, I was putting it a bit harshly, but yes, we just witnessed Lithe Brain onto Jiggy there, and Jason just read him like a book. He did it at Shack almost too at the start of the game, if you remember.
To be fair, I cannot blame Jiggy for that play. He was shoved into a corner of the map where his only resource was a window. So
Yeah,
going for a
exactly.
dodge there with the lithe speed was the only viable play there for Jiggy.
Yes, indeed, and he's either keen zoned to run up the tile where you're still at risk of the wolf pounce, but also when he mind games to the other side, we Jason just kind of almost sort of zoning him with those two choices. Injury coming through now onto Doc at this maze tile. Jiggy's still on hook. We are still at 2 gens. This is quite a difficult situation now because Doc can't go for that on hook. It's only Zydru, and Zydru is on a gen. This is going to be good information for Wee Jason when he pops this. And
there's a pretty nasty 3-gen there over by the shack, but one of those is the one that Zydru's working. Wee Jason has not checked it in quite a while because he's more concerned with getting Jiggy to second stage here. So they are going to be going into that 1-gen scenario here with Jiggy on second stage. Zydru and Doc are completely fresh. So this is eerily similar to the last match, Zach. If they're able to protect a fresh hook survivor, and this is really going to come down to the wire.
yeah, and I just noticed as well, he has that sort of like line of sight straight down the map in that area. I mean, he does commit to Doc anyway, so it's not going to matter. But he does have that sort of situation where he could just watch basically any rotation coming through whilst protecting that far gen too. It's a bit of a recipe for success, and Wee Jason just making full use of that. Doc took a wolf pounce, is gonna die. Bit of an ambitious hellfire, not gonna connect anywhere close. Goes for the wolf pounce, but the ping just as he goes round the corner. I mean, that wasn't a ping. I think it was a legitimate hit. But Zydru now taking an injury. Doesn't look like Wee Jason wants to commit that. And we are in the direction roughly of where Jiggy is being chased. Snowballs that actually. And he wolf forms the wrong side. I don't know if that was a bad timing thing, but yeah, Jiggy now taking chase again. He did go second stage as far as I remember. And oh, he gets the window hit. Oh, that was so strong from Wee Jason. Predicting that Jiggy was run past the window. Did he go second stage? He did. Yeah, that's Jiggy at the trial.
Go second stage. So that is most likely going to be the win here for Sinners. Wee Jason just needs to make sure that he's not getting ran for multiple years here by the survivors of Vikzz, as Zydru and Doc are both fresh. So technically still possible for Vikzz to win this. They can have the chase of their lives. Doc going to dodge out on the Hellfire, making it to the main building window, as now going to be pursued in the bat form over towards this maze tile. Wolfhound's coming out. Doc not able to dodge it there. It's going to be down onto him. Pickup from Wee Jason, and it seems like they don't have enough gen progress anywhere to even come close to completing the final one.
Yeah, I'm trying to think where it went wrong. For me, it was really letting Diamond die there. Wee Jason was able to interrupt it. The rotation came through kind of in his face almost, and there wasn't enough distance to protect Diamond.
They really needed that for the people from Jiggy onto Daimau's final life.
Exactly, because that's one entire chase, and potentially time for another gen. It's time for them able to break that 3-gen 2 on that shack side. I mean, it came in eventually, but at such a crucial part of the game, Wee Jason holding onto his Hellfire here. Very smart use, but unfortunately is going to miss out. Given that it's a smart tile, but hard to navigate. But Zydru goes down anyway. Doesn't really have much to work with there. And Doc's here stealthing for an early pull, but we're going to be taking into the top side for the hook. Potentially a score trick, given that it's Zydru's fast. But yeah, I don't see a universe where they complete the slash gen. They're going to need a absolute stinker of a chase. But he has this hill here, which is also quite key, because he could just survey the entire map from it if he uses it properly. Doc's stealthing quite nicely, though. But yeah, Sinner's looking like they're going to secure a second set in a row. They're looking very, very strong. And to be honest, they had quite a shaky start to the season. Prion, I think they started out 0-3. And since then, I think their record, would now be about 3-0-1 almost.
Yeah, actually, I have the standings pulled up right here. Sinners started the season 0-1.
Oh, the tie on Invictus.
With a tie.
Yes. Yeah, it was the tie on Invictus. So they basically tied and won ever since those first few losses. They did take another loss, but I feel like they've kind of really unlocked so far in the second half of the group stage. Seen really strong performances from them, and yeah, Jason putting in a good performance on the killer side. Side, you're going to be working on a gen. Doesn't commit to Doc. Oh, he does actually. Looks like it was a little bit of a delay on that movement, but obviously the cape is a bit weird on Dracula right now. It's a bit weird to look at. Oh, good dodge out coming in, and he actually sidesteps it perfectly, and that's max distance secured from that. We do have this side main pallet, but yeah, just walks through with the Hellfire holding, and Doc can't pull the pallet down. So side drew only 60% on the gen, and all things considered, I think that was a good chase.
Yeah, that was pretty good from Doc there. He had the Iron Will, was able to double back on the bat form and confuse Jason a little bit. Then he had the dodge onto the wolf form, which is definitely not easy to do. As Jason now, he's checking the edge map here, trying to find a rotation here from Zydru, but he's not checking the gen. And Zydru is just continuing to work the gen in the killer's face. Jason is not going to the gen.
No way.
He's going to get adrenaline here.
And they get it done, but I mean, it's basically already.
It is still theoretically possible for Vikzz to tie. If Zydru is able to get the unhook onto Doc and then both of them escape with no more hook stages, Vikzz will tie the set.
Yeah, I mean, where is Doc hooked? He's in the mid map. He misses the wolf form. This is going to be at the very least a trade if Jason wants to force it.
Misses the Hellfire here.
Yeah, I mean, he's missing quite a lot. This is, I feel like this is maybe not initially as decisive as we thought it was going to be, but yeah, just good decisions made in this late game by Vikzz. Doc does die. That is going to be the 4K0 secured, but I mean, that was maybe closer than it should have been, Prion.
That was definitely quite close there, as I'm not sure why Jason didn't check the gen. Maybe he was more afraid of the unhook coming in, as okay.
He was probably quite sure that
we're
it just
getting word here from our producers that Sinners actually had already won the first time that Ace was hooked. So that was just the spectator hook stages being misleading once again, making us think that Ace was fresh when he wasn't.
Yes, indeed. But yeah, well played regardless by the killer of Sinners. Survivors of Vikzz now. Welcome back, everyone, and we are now in the action of the Spirit set. We've got Jason on killer. Same lobby, essentially, that we saw before. Survivors of Vikzz up against the killers of Sinner. This is the Sinner's pick, so was a choice for them. We've got a first chase onto Doc now. First pallet dropped on the game. But yeah, it's sort of corrupt side, but we're running to Shack instead, it looks like. Yeah, the double back into the corrupt zone, which is what I kind of expected, is going to secure the first hit. Are we going to be taking area? No, we're going to take our first chase into the middle of the map, away from that corrupt zone. That's not something that I was expecting, Prion. It's almost a bit of a, I wouldn't say industry standard, but trying to make it into that corrupt zone. I mean, the chase eventually made it there, but Doc was trying to confuse me, I think. Maybe he heard me speaking. I don't know, but
that was a full phase from Jason that just ended up not getting it down, and he's leaving the injured survivor, which for a Spirit is really interesting, as he's going to get a second hit now onto Daimao. Phase is going to recharge here. What does Daimao have? He's going for the Lithe here to try to get away from this phase. Makes it towards another pallet here. Nice play there out of Daimao, pre-throwing that pallet, using it to escape from the phasing Spirit, as he's now going to hold W over towards this corrupt area of the map. This is more of what we expected to see here against the Spirit. Daimao, he's able to make a few plays there in the chase, but he's accepting that he's going to inevitably go down against the Spirit. Goes to the corner after making his chase, and he's going to be hooked in a good location for Vikzz.
Got the first stage coming through. 1 gen, nearly 2 pops now. We do have the pop goes to the Weasel. If Jason can try and find that gen that they were working on. It looks like it's by Crane. There is enough distance potentially. Now he wants to use it on this this topside gen here, opting to leave. So that's going to be 2 gens popped for 1 stage. So strong start for Vikzz. A little bit of indecisiveness at the start from Jason, but positionally our survivors managed to make it back into that corner and the corrupt side, which is absolutely crucial in these sets. You do not want any hooks near the progression. And that is one of the reasons why corrupt intervention is so good, because positionally it kind of secures you a safe location to chase, use up all those resources at the start of the map, and you're basically home safe with the progression on the other side. But Daimao now taking his second chase of the game. That's going to be a quick second stage actually. So
he has a special surprise here for Jason though. Going to be the DS coming in, and he is right next to a window with which to use his Lithe. So Daimao going to be continuing to live here. Goes for a firecracker in the chase, and he's going to get the stun there on the pallet. Nice job there. The blind did not come in onto the Spirit, but he was able to live a little bit longer at a pallet. And now going to be going over to the corner once again. And Zach, I know it might look a little bit silly that he just keeps going to a corner after making a good play in the chase, but this is all you can ask of your survivors here in a Spirit set. This killer is so strong. Just the fact that he's not getting 2-tapped and is living for any amount of time is really good for Vikzz.
Yeah, and often we kind of measure Spirit sets by how early the elimination comes in, and I think that unfortunately the time when your tunnel out is the survivor with the DS. I'm sure Jason's probably not happy about that in general. Now it's out of the way, but for the people actually coming through to protect Daimao, that's going to delay it even a little bit longer, and he actually doubles back. Going to have Doc take the down.
The injured survivor Doc confusing the noises here for the Spirit. Sound is so important on this killer. Now opportunity for the Lithe here out of Daimao if he wants it, but it looks like he's just going to take a hit. Maybe planning to use that Lithe on another tile and make it over towards some of those completed generators. FaZe coming out now. He's going to double back into the Spirit there. Lithe around the tile. Oh, but Jason, what a FaZe. He comes out right on top of him despite that exhaustion perk.
See what play. That's going to be Daimao leaving the trial. We have 30% on a generator that Chiggy was working on. We've got the pickup coming through now. Yeah, Chiggy's pre-leaving this situation, knowing that stealth's important now that we're in the 3v1 scenario. And Jason probably would have liked that elimination coming out sooner, but I have to say this is impressive from Vikzz to I'd say it's impressive play from Vikzz so far this trial for me. I am sure you'll agree with me, Prion. Now they just need to keep it up. They need to make sure that we have long chases, or at least far chases from wherever we're trying to work that gen. We still have injury onto Doc. He was broken from the For the People, so the reset couldn't come through immediately. I do wonder if that's going to come through soon. Keeping injured survivors against the Spirit. Maybe not good, but yeah, the reset comes through as expected, and we're kind of we're playing it a little bit slower this time.
And I agree with you there, Zach. It is impressive survivor play from Vikzz so far, but they still have some ways to go. Now they are in the 3v1, demands a different set of skills from the survivors here. So we've seen Jiggy here having to stealth multiple times against this Spirit. He's going to start running now. Believes that the Spirit phase is elsewhere, as there isn't much of a 3-gen here for Jason to protect, is there? It's actually split all the way across the map here for the survivors. Smash hit coming out from Doc there. Very ambitious swing out of Jason. Now he's going to be going over towards the backside of this pallet, able to confuse the Spirit there by walking a little bit, and Doc going to not get injured there, and staying healthy is so important in this 3v1. This time right here, where all of the survivors are healthy against the Spirit, is extremely important for Vikzz. The longer they can extend this, the more chance they have to get outs here. The second one of them gets injured, they are on a timer. Doc is going to take an M1 there. The phase is coming out, but this gen is getting doubled, and he's actually leaving the injured survivor here. Vikzz is putting so much pressure on Jason here with their survivor play, and now how Can you stealth? What do you have for us, Vikzz? You need to not get found here. These healthy survivors have to exist near the generator, putting more and more pressure on VKZ without getting found.
Yeah, it's can't be understated how important stealthing is. They cannot get found in this scenario. Doc is injured. If they were to get a second person on the hook, it does really change things, especially in that area where that's where all your progression is. VKZ is desperately trying to find someone right now, and it looks like he might do. He finds Zydru, baits him with the sprint burst, and that's going to get him to safety. Maybe looks like we're playing this window. Oh, and he almost dodges out on the M1, but that's going to be an injury secured. Running to the corner of this map, Doc is 50% on that far gen that he started working on earlier on, and Jiggy is now back on the other gen. And he actually mind games the crane. That's actually really well played by VKZ. Also a bit of a fumble on the side of Zydru there. But
Unbreakable here, though, is on Zydru there. So these survivors can
Eruption
continue.
Eruption on Jiggy.
Jiggy is going to get found with the eruption here, but VKZ, he used that phase for mobility. So Jiggy is going to have a little bit of time to make it to a resource before this next phase comes out. Jiggy on this filler pallet here, trying to mind game. He goes away from the pallet, and VKZ catches him in that mind game. He's going to use the overcome now to go back over towards the crane. Zydru picks himself up with the unbreakable. FaZe is coming in on this filler pallet while Doc works the final gen in the background. That FaZe is not going to find its target, crucially. I don't think there's an eruption on Doc's gen any moment now. Vikzz is going to pop the final gen. All survivors injured now. It's down to whether they can survive and chase and get some outs here. VKZ trying to mind game this crane. Not going to work out, though. Jiggy is unflapped by the FaZe. He's going to survive for now. Make it back towards the middle of the map, and a door is already being done by Doc here. Really good chance here for Vikzz to get some outs. Jiggy now, he's actually not going to be in VKZ's sights as he wants to stop this door. I don't know if he has enough time, though.
He has to. Oh, they don't get the gate done, and he now knows he knows the two survivors are injured. I imagine whoever goes down here and is picked up is going to be left, but VKZ wants more. He's making his way over. He left Jiggy, and there is a gate here, so this is going to be Well, I think he realized there's no way he gets Zydru there. So, damn it. If I'm not mistaken, is that 6 stages?
That's going to be 2 survivors leaving here for Vikzz. I'm not going to trust the hook stage UI this time, but we do know that Doc was fresh. That is at least 6 stages here for VKZ. And yeah, I mean, do you remember Jiggy or Zydru getting hooked? I don't.
Yeah, it is.
That's an actual 6 stages out the door for Vikzz. Very impressive survivor play out of them, especially from Jiggy and Zydru there. Just amazing stealth and healthy play against the Spirit there. It is not easy to do against this killer. So Vikzz proving that they are still in this match.
Yeah, 100%. The protection of the Daimao, the DS, the live, the distance, the positioning, and the altruism just goes to show, as well as the stealthing. Like, the stealthing for me is the Wrecker's Yard. We do have a corrupt on sort of the right side of the map, relatively close, but look at this line of sight we've got for potential information on survivors. We're phasing around the side of Shack. FaZe trying to maybe confuse the survivors, and he's actually caught SMS out early on. This may be a tag. I think it actually does make this pallet. And nice mind game coming
through the pallet.
Yeah. And now we only have Shack for safety, taking chase, and does pre-drop this for the people coming in through straight away.
Very interesting. That tells us something very specific about the perks on these survivors, doesn't it, Zach? I mean, not necessarily exactly what we need to know. Like, it's not like a deliverance situation like it would be in a nurse set, but this is telling us that Sinners really, really values whatever perks are on SMS, or maybe they're trying to mind game FaZe into going after a certain survivor. But yeah, Bucky there with a very interesting for the people on Shack. It seems like they were trying to mind game FaZe into going for the DS survivor. FaZe, though, not falling for it and is going to simply hook SMS instead. SMS, though, he does have that dead hard. So Not exactly the worst survivor to be chased, just not the best for Sinners.
100%. But if I was to tell you, if I was to, I guess, compare the set to last, we're in a much better scenario at the start of this game. So everything going for Vikzz. Oh, he found
Nice tracking
Dead Hard
there.
coming through, and he doesn't get to hit it. No, isn't able to use the Dead Hard. FaZe waiting it out, and it's gonna be a second stage so early on. Still at 5 gens.
I mean, I can't even, like, I need to impress upon you guys how impressive that was from FaZe. Tracking one of the quietest survivors in the game, Aurella, while there is another survivor nearby making footsteps, is extremely difficult.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons that Spirit's so strong. I mean, you might have the 8K surround sound headphones too that might help out. You got a bit of a hardware advantage maybe, but I don't think I'm deaf, so I couldn't. But we're actually hiding in the basement. Is that maybe in a healing? I'm not sure. Just trying to hide from the killer. But I think it was just a stealth move. I don't think there was any particular reason outside of that. But
so FaZe, he's getting closer and closer to this tunnel out here, and as this chase is going to continue onto the TL wall, I did just get confirmation from our stats wizard Toby that if Vikzz forces a tie here, Jinx is not out.
Yep. So it is only the one that can secure this. And I mean, SMS did well to hide from that. The elimination is denied. Only 2 stages on the board so far, and that reset's coming through. We found Bucky, and he does not camp the pallet. He uses the window. Smiles that FaZe is going to be going for that. I actually wanted to use live. Double back coming through, and he's not dead yet. It's going to be pretty soon. Firecracker coming through. And we don't make this fault. No, that's going to be Bucky going down. We have 2 gens on the horizon. We are going to be at 2 gens pretty soon. If we can get a Pop Goes the Weasel on one of those, that would be pretty good. We have Agitation, which is a perk to highlight, I suppose, because it makes you faster when you're hooking these survivors. Gives you more distance, and we're going in the direction of this gen, actually, so this is going to be really good for FaZe to secure this Pop Goes the Weasel. And it's only because of Agitation that he makes it there.
Really nice perk value there from FaZe, and let's remember the win condition here. 6 stages, 3 fresh. He's currently got 3 stages on 2 survivors, so 1 full fresh hook in the end game would already be the win for FaZe. And with 3 generators to go, he has quite a bit of time and space to work with here on the win con. And especially now that he's found the death hook survivor and gotten a hit at the TL wall, I mean, getting the elimination here onto SMS would be the final nail in the coffin for Sinners, as he doesn't even need to phase for this. I mean, no pun intended, he's playing his namesake killer here, but FaZe going to be getting the elimination onto SMS. This is the tunnel out survivor, and that dead hard was not used a single time, Zach.
Yeah, I feel like if you're SMS there, you probably understand that there's not enough distance there. I don't know if maybe it was a ping thing or a judgment call that he made, but yeah, not able to use that dead hard at all. And it is such a strong perk, to be honest, especially against a killer like Spirit, where if she phases into a dead hard, she doesn't have that cooldown available, and she's so slow as well. There's so much distance to be made there. I feel like we could have gotten more out of that survivor there, but unfortunately not going to be the case, and he is going to die. And like you say, we're now in a bit of a different situation. If there's ever a sign that a survivor's got sprint burst, I think you just saw it. But tries to double back actually, and isn't going to work out for Zub there.
Those little double backs are so difficult to call out, especially on a survivor with quiet footsteps like Renato. I mean, for all intents and purposes, that was a really nice fake with the sprint burst from Zub, but like nothing is getting past FaZe here when he hits that phase button.
FaZe on the phase, unstoppable. I'm sure if there was a particular caster duo, there'd be way more jokes being made, but not for us. We spare the audience from them. Yeah,
I mean, they need a break at some point, right?
They do, yeah. If there's ever a break to be had, we can provide it. But yeah, that's gonna be Zub. That's gonna be the 3rd fresh hook. So now all we need is roughly 2 more stages, and then that's going to be the win secured. And from a basement
believe
hook as well.
There's 5 stages right now, so and 3 fresh. So the next hook, any hook, will be the win for FaZe.
And
that is going to be the phased down onto Zoob. Picked up here, and no DS going to be in play because that was on Bucky. This is going to be another hook onto Zoob. This Renato. Agitation coming out
wiggle,
here. Does he wiggle? Yeah, he's going pretty far here. Even with agitation, almost there. That is going to be the hook onto Zoob. And I do believe that is the win con met here for Vikzz.
Yeah, Bucky now taking chase. The unhook came through. I would have thought maybe they asked, do you make it out? And it's, to be honest, very risky, I guess, in that situation. But you kind of have to go for it if that's the win condition, right? Jason actually getting caught out there on the phase. Saw a bit of grass movement, and actually it's going to get spotted out. We've got 3 injuries on the board, 2 gens remaining. That one was pretty close in that corner.
Listening to the footsteps here.
Oh my God.
Jason going to be going down. Nice job there from FaZe. I mean, I keep saying it over and over. This guy is lights out with his phases this trial. Sinners is throwing everything at him. They're doubling back. They're slow vaulting. They're using their exhaustion perks in very strange pathing. And nothing is escaping him here on the Spirit. It's going to be Zoob finishing that 4th gen. But they are all going to go down for it. So that is going to be the 4K1 secured for FaZe. And Vikzz staying alive in this game. Very impressive performance from both of their sides here. And this is like what I said before, Zach. We have been seeing flashes of brilliance, signs of life from Vikzz here in these last couple of weeks. And here they are, putting up a fight against Sinners, trying to play spoiler here for that last few slots of playoff contention.
Yeah, absolutely. And coming up next, we have a Clown set on Grim Pantry. Right, so that's an interesting one. And in my head, that, you know, when unusual kind of comes to mind, non-typical. And I mean, for Vikzz, Clown's quite a strong killer, but for Vikzz, I mean, if you're going up against a killer like that on an unusual map, it does give you kind of an opportunity there. So I don't think that they're out of the woods in terms of tying this. I think that they very well could do that on a set like this. And I don't even, like, the only experience I have with Clown or Grim Pantry is in public matches. I've never seen it in a comp environment before.
I have seen it in a comp environment before, but it was, I think, about a year ago. And it was around the time that Nightlight started playing comp Clown. And he would bring Forced Hesitation Clown and have a survivor running at like 80% speed off hook by forcing a trade with the pink bottle.
Yeah, we just had an interesting statistic in the background. So this combination of sets, Spirit, Wreckers Yard, Clown, Green Pantry, Vikzz had against Seraph, and they won both sets. So this is actually, you know, track record territory for Vikzz. So, you know, the dream is on. They've just discussed in those 5 minutes. We can now see in action as FaZe making his way over to the middle side of the map. Has this hill in the mid-map area for a bit of a vision. We have Corrupt in play. And we're going to be looking for our first survivors. Looks like we have the flask of bleach there for the increased intoxication as well. And that's going to increase the hindrance on the survivors when that purple bottle hits them, which is another strong add-on that the Clown can utilize. Hasn't found anyone just yet. Looks like they're stealthing him a little bit. We do have Agitation and Sloppy, no Bamboozle, which we were talking about before the trial started. And
we just heard the crow noise unique to this map, which means that survivors are at the main building, stealthing around that corrupt gen. But now, looks like he is going to find a survivor here by the shack. Throws a bottle over towards that shack pallet. It's going to hit SMS, and he's actually not dropping shack, Zach. That is going to result in a hit here, despite how strong this little setup is here by shack. SMS giving the first hit there when honestly he didn't need to. I feel like he should have dropped shack.
Yeah, and okay, he did get spotted. He pathed away from the tile. Looks like he wants to die edge map instead of making use of any of those pallets. SMS gonna live. Does have this pallet for safety. You can get hit over this, and he tried it. I called it. He was trying it at phase. I mean, if you get hit over that, it feels so damn bad. And he short swings, and that is gonna be SMS. I mean, lasting fairly decently long at that.
I'm gonna disagree with you here, Zach. That chase needed to be quite a bit longer. SMS, he gave a free hit at Shack and then ran to one of the weaker areas on the map. There is not enough gen progress coming out from Sinners right now for that first down. This is an extremely good start for FaZe, and Sinners, they need to lock in here because that was not enough gen progress here for this Clown set.
SMS stuck at that little small pallet underneath, and not really a recipe for success. Zoop now taking second chase. The on-hook comes through. And do we have this tile that spawned that we were talking about? Didn't quite see. But this Volt's going to come through, and Lithe's going to be used. Stay alive for a little bit longer. We do have a decent window setup, it looks like. FaZe is just going to be zoning with his bottles, and he catches the double Volt. I don't know in what world you're safe from that, but yeah, that's going to be another fast chase. And like you said, strong in the 1v1. Of course, the first time round, maybe a few questionable decisions in chase, but Clown's so easily able to punish it.
Yeah, and it seems like, for now at least, FaZe is going for a strategy of fresh hooks here. Maybe he's accepting that the Clown maybe can't get a super 4K result here on the Grim Pantry, but instead he wants to get as many fresh hooks as he can and provide support for his survivor side in that way. So Unhook going to be coming in onto Zoob. Here he's going back to hook with the yellow bottle here, and FaZe, he might make me eat my words here if he goes for a tunnel out.
Potentially still at 5 generators. We found Zoob. Shack pallet's going to be used. We do have this pallet. It's going to be dropped immediately, and the gen that was being worked on by wee Jason is right here. Going to be hit tanking for him. So it's going to keep him alive a little bit longer. We do have the live for safety.
Look at that.
That was the rapid response.
Aurella's perk, rapid response, giving aura onto the killer there. Very interesting perk. It's a very short aura read, but I think it's actually really useful. It's a pretty cool designed perk there from Aurella.
Especially when exhaustion is so commonly used just everywhere. Giving that aura reading, especially when combined with perks, you can elongate that, but is a perk. I'm not too sure how many times we've seen it in Season 10 so far, but it's one of the newer perks that's currently available. Bucky now taking chase. Zoob was lost in the fray, is reset now after that hit tank from Jason. And we're taking chase over to main building. Quite a strong tile to be taking chase. This is where one of the gens with probably the most progress on the map has. So it's going to slow the survivors down a little bit more, but Bucky able to utilize this, and again, using the downstairs, alternating between the two. We do have a few pallets underneath here that it can use, but it is going to neutralize those bottles and essentially turn Clown into an M1 killer, really, with no use of power. Does he just to make this? He doesn't. He spends too long running around. There was no pallet really spawned, except from when he initially went down. Looking for a pallet there, honestly scrambling for it.
Honestly,
there.
I don't blame Bucky there. You would think that there would be 2 pallets spawned down there, but it would have been the safer play for him to just take the first pallet he saw. Those pallets down under the main building aren't super strong, so I feel like it would have been safer to just kind of take the one that you see. So Bucky gonna get burned there, looking for the other pallet to try to get more distance against this Clown. It's gonna be a third fresh hook for FaZe here, and I mean, only 1 gen has been done, Zach. This is looking like it's shaping up to be a really good result for FaZe, and Zoob just runs directly into him, face first at the docks. No Lithe used yet. Zoob needs to position himself to use that exhaustion perk. He's going to trigger it now. Sees the aura of the Clown there with rapid response. Going to give him the information to go up towards the docks. Now he's running down this ramp here. Actually, crucially, not hit by the bottle there. Gets him a little bit more distance there. And he will make this TL. Will he? No, the medium vault there. And the hinder coming in from the Clown. That's going to be a second hook here onto Zoob, with 2 generators being done so far by Sinners. By all accounts, this is shaping up to be a really good result for Vikzz.
Sinners look a bit shaky for me, Prion. they're kind of not really. They don't seem to have like very good sight on him. FaZe has kind of crept up on a couple of survivors, and like the decisions in chase have been a bit like lackluster for me. So absolutely, FaZe in a position to win this. 2 gens complete, almost a third one, and they do have quite a lot of spread progression, to be fair. And they're trying to utilize these strong tiles, but yeah, it seems like they're struggling. We've got scratch marks going to the edge of the map. That is the rotation for the unhook, using the purple bottle there to interrupt it, but there's not going to be a trade. Oh, and Jason runs through for the intoxicated bottle, and that's going to be potentially an early down. Is there a pallet here to use? No, he's going to die corner, making it to no form of safety. But we're playing for a bit of strategic location there.
Yeah, and if you're FaZe here, I think you're already happy with what's going on here. Just going for another pain res onto Jason. You can't be too upset about this in the clown set. So that's going to be another fresh hook, another pain resonance here for FaZe. And I think you're just going to keep chasing each survivor that you see to try to make a result for your team that is mostly made of fresh hooks. I think that's a good strategy to go for on the clown. Obviously, it depends on your survivor team's play once we get to the other side. He's essentially saying that he's confident that his friends on Vikzz are going to be able to prevent a tunnel out when they go to the survivor summit. So crafting a win condition here with 4 fresh hooks is, I think it's a good play in this specific set.
Yeah, I was just looking at the gen positions. Actually, Jason's kind of hooked in between a 3-gen here, and he's just throwing bottles all over the place. A for information, but also like if Sinners can't break that, could actually be really bad. If he forces trades in this 3-gen, he doesn't have Pop Goes the Weasel. He only has 1 stack of Scourge Hook left for regression, so isn't going to be able to create like a something like a Pop Eruption chain, but just securing second stage onto Jason here. But positionally, this is quite bad for Sinners.
Yeah, so the reason why FaZe is doing this, it has to do with, like you said, Zach, he's got this hook in the middle of a 3-gen here. He's got perfect information onto each generator that is nearby. He can throw bottles. He knows that Sinners is not getting too much progress onto those important gens, so there's nothing really stopping him from sitting in front of Jason and securing that second stage. And now, I mean, he's got the option for a tunnel out here. Jason did go to second stage, and here, if he can make this chase last not very long, it's going to be, I mean, a quick end to that 4v1. Jason goes down, hooked in the middle of that 3-gen. Zoob is going to finish 1 generator. The other one is being doubled right now, and I don't think he's going to be able to stop that. Sinners will be able to complete all of the generators here, but they do get a kill onto Jason there. So 3 more stages added on for FaZe. Their last result, Toby told me in the background, against Seraph was 5 stages, 3 fresh. So already beating that by a significant margin is Vikzz.
Yeah, and he can kind of take whatever chase he needs to, because all these survivors are relatively equal in stages of value. Will he be able to cut anyone off, though? We do have Bucky on that far gate. Looks like Zoob was positioning for this next gate, but wasn't able to complete it.
If anything here, you wouldn't want to chase Zoob because he's the only one with 2 stages on him. But, I mean, at this point, if you're Vikzz, any more stages are going to be good for you here. It's that rapid response on the Lithe over towards that other door, and honestly, I don't think he's going to be able to get there. That is a lot of distance away from the killer, and it seems like Sinners is going to be escaping with 3 survivors out the door. Definitely not what you want, though, if you're Sinners. I think you expect to get a much better survivor result against this clown. I think FaZe has set this up nicely for his survivor team to force a tie in the set.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. FaZe just kind of, I want to say playing safe, but also, he just played to the 1v1. We talked about the 1v1, and he had a very good 1v1 in most chases that game, whether it be through good positioning or just bad survivor pathing. I think it was quite impressive. And we're looking at 7 stages, 4 fresh on the side of the killer. So 8 stages needed to secure the win. And yeah, I think it's doable for the survivors of Vikzz.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Grim Pantry here. We've got Jason on the Clown here with a lot on the line for Sinners here. He needs this win, or else Vikzz will be able to force a tie in this overall series and to make our playoffs so much more complicated here on the bottom to middle of the table. So Jason here, he's found a first survivor here in Karma at the docks. Karma does not want to drop just yet. He is going to drop now, and he has that balanced landing, so distance made here for Karma over towards one of these filler pallets on the middle of the map. Gonna go ahead and throw it there, and Jason misses the bottle, doesn't have any bottles left, and Karma going to take an M1 and make it to that strong main building.
Yeah, just wasting time with that pallet. Did just get hit by Jason just swinging around, but yeah, no bottles to use, so he's just gonna dry chase this at main. Just looking at the
this is gonna take a while.
I don't think so. I think he has to go to that pallet. No, he paths over here. I was gonna say he didn't have enough distance to make it round. He only had that pallet on the left side, but Karma just opting to die close to the top side as possible instead, presumably because of the positions of these gens here. We have a 3 split happening. We have 3 gens being split on spot side. Karma just playing for distance, so yeah, like a good start in terms of progression for Vikzz, to be honest.
Yeah, and I think splitting 3 survivors on 3 gens is definitely the correct play here for Vikzz. So we're gonna see Jason checking over by the docks now, going for a kick on this gen, and that's gonna be Dragon's Grip activated here. But if he commits to chase here, the Dragon's Grip isn't going to do anything. Gonna be finding Jiggy here at the log. It's a very strong window there for Jiggy. He's not going to vault it though, winning that mind game on Jason. Now going to vault it again. I'm assuming we're gonna see this window blocked here for Jiggy. He's wasting a lot of time here. And he must not have even been in chase at the start there because the window is still not blocked. Jiggy going for the fast vault there. He's actually able to get 4 vaults out of that. That is so important. Does he make this too? He does. Jiggy wasting a lot of time here. Good chase so far, and he's actually going to go all the way up to the top of the docks once again. And actually, going to be Jason leaving there. Very good chase from Jiggy. It's what we expect to see from him on the Survivor here, as a lot of time bought for his team in this important match.
Yeah, well, I mean, chasing Jiggy there, he is one of our top ladder players, and Clown is a relatively frequent killer played in ladder. So the 1v1 skills coming out there from Jiggy and just making full use of that. Absolute textbook chase. Jason struggling there with the bottles and unfortunately couldn't really catch Jiggy out because of just how long that tile is. And
so Jiggy now again at the docks.
Yeah, he does have life back actually, but is going to get an injury. The gen's finished now, so safely making our way to Shack. Knowing that this area is safe to chase in, so good coordination from the survivors too. It's going to drop from the inside. The vault's going to come through. Jason is going to have to break this. Do we have enough distance to make this drop pallet down in the middle of the map? It isn't the safest, but it's something to work with for now.
Yeah, and I don't hate that instant drop on the Shack pallet at all for Jiggy. In fact, that was objectively the correct play because look at the gen progress here. Even though Jiggy goes down here, lasting that little bit longer is just going to be devastating to the pressure here of Jason. They've got 2 other gens being worked right now, and I mean, if we could see the survivors here, I don't think those gens are doubled. We're really close to just getting all of the gens done here for Vikzz. With only 2 stages on the board, if they're able to finish even one of these gens, Jason is going to be in a really bad spot. Karma now in chase, but not really in chase. I think that's Jason on the bottom floor of the map, triggering chase on Karma, who's standing on top of the main building with balanced landing. It's going to be a lot of distance made for him there, and Daimao is sticking the gen here, Zach. This is going to be all 5 gens done in short order for Vikzz. And, I mean, it's really starting to look like Vikzz is going to win this set and force a tie.
What an insane comeback from Vikzz. To go 2-0 down to then secure a tie 0-2 up. I mean, unless they completely fumble this end game and we have 8 stages online.
Yeah, it's 8 stages that are needed for Jason here to get this win, and the door is already open. Vikzz here is going to be, they're clawing back and is in this series trying to force this tie against Sinners, and this is going to not allow Sinners to clinch their playoff spot. As long as these survivors make it out the door with less than 8 stages, Jinx will remain alive in our standings, and Vikzz, they came here today with nothing on the line. They were playing with house money, playing the spoiler, and they are going to succeed in that, forcing Sinners to accept a tie here with their survivor play. I mean, really impressive stuff here from Vikzz. I keep saying this team has had signs of life here at the bottom of the table, and now they're proving it here with this tie against Sinners.
Yeah, super impressive. I mean, the efficiency on the generators this game was outrageous. Combined with like 2 or 3 good chases, and the game is over in basically a flash. But even though Vikzz aren't going to see playoffs, they drag Sinners down, and Sinners are now going to have to fight even harder. I'm sure they're going to feel frustrated after this one to lose 2 sets in a row, causing a tie. But yeah, I mean, for me, it was definitely Vikzz's day.